Right, you join us in our Land Rover Freelander 2. And what we're doing today, we are going to show you how to install a sat-nav, I will say sat-nav, dash cam, a dash cam by taking the power off this overhead console. So, right, so your overhead console is interesting. So obviously you have power in the overhead console. And we haven't started the ignition. We've got no ignition lights on. Have a look at the dash there. So there is power there. So now with a dash cam, you do not necessarily, well, there's two ways you can have it. You can have it when it comes on with the ignition, so it records just when you're driving. And that's good for a lot of people. Or some dash cams have a 24-hour constant power to it from the battery. The risk there is when you leave the car at the airport for 2 weeks, the battery goes flat. So you need to buy what's called a hardwire kit, and in the hardwire kit it has a little voltage sensor, and when it senses the battery voltage reducing, it knows that it's about to die and it stops the dash cam from taking any more power. So it's got a self-preservation mode. Right, the signal that we're going into here is not the 24-hour one. It actually shuts down after you turn the car off and lock it. There's like a 20 to 30 minute window, and then it goes to sleep and kills the power to it. So if you want to use this as a source of power, what you'll get is when you unlock the car, your dash cam will wake up and start recording. As you're driving, it will continue to record, and then after you've parked for 30 minutes, it will continue recording, and that won't flatten your battery. There's no risk of that flattening your battery. And also, if you go to the supermarket, half an hour will cover a lot of your trips when you're parked, and it will continue recording. So we are going to show you how to do that. Now, if you're going to mount a dash cam, I recommend mounting it on the passenger side at the top of the windscreen, out of the field of view, out of the windscreen wiper area. Now, if you've got power here, it's a lot easier than running power from the fuse box coming all up here, up behind here and under here. Right, so we are going to show you. Now, we have made a loom, but you can also do this without buying our loom, and I will show you how. I will show you which wires to solder into if you so want. But we've made this plug and play loom, which is going to sit in between the car wiring and the overhead console, and it's going to suck out the earth on the brown and this sort of pseudo unlocked signal 12 volt on the red wire. Now we've also got this made up. George sucks the 12 volts out, goes through an inline fuse and goes to a power supply. Right, so anything you connect to this, you should fuse. So anything, if you're putting your own thing on here, you should put a fuse in the positive wire. Now, if you do blow a fuse, the fuse box is under here. There's a panel you need to remove, and I'll put a picture on the screen now of which fuse it is. So it's on the bottom row, third. It's a 7.5 amp fuse. That's the fuse you will blow. So if you don't have your lights working here, check that before you do anything. Or if you blow a fuse, that's why. And we know because we blew a fuse. Right, another point to mention on fuses: don't go installing this like we did yesterday, practicing so we look good with these wires, because as soon as you plug it in, these wires are live. So it's better to connect up whatever you're gonna connect, so it's all, you haven't got any loose wires. Right, let's get on, enough waffling. So, right, we've sort of worked this out. So you only need to remove this console, and it's gonna come out something like this. So it's held in with a little spring clip that's missing here, and we are going to pull it out. Now, you can pull the lens off like so, and that's what we're going to do actually first. It's easier to pull the lens off, and then you can get a bit more leverage to take that off. Was that right, Lily, or was it easier to pull the whole lot off?
It was easier to pull the lens off.
It's easier to pull the lens off, that's right. We sort of tried to work this out. So this one actually doesn't have the... There are two models of this, one with the deluxe map lights, check that out, and this one didn't. Must have been for the lower budget people, this little badger. Right, but the loom is the same for low budget and high budget people. Right, let's go. So we have got this. We are going to throw one of these in with our wiring kits. Now, we reckon it was easier to go in this. Did we say it was easier to go in here? That's it. All right, now. And you want to get in between. If I work it this way, you want to get in between the white case so that you are just pulling out. You don't really want to pull out the whole lot. So you can see how that I've coloured it orange. When that goes in, that goes over the little pegs here, those little bits there, and that's how that fits. So that's that out. Right, now we worked this out. This metal clip was easier. So again, it was at the back. And what you needed to do is you needed to get in behind these two tabs and push it in and then pull the whole lot down, but at the front edge. And we'll see why in a minute. Oh, it's caught on the mirror. There we go. And then that will just pop out. So what you're doing when you put this in is, as you put it in, you're pushing that metal clip. Can you see that on the camera there, Lee?
Yeah.
And then you lever that out. Oh, right. So you bear in mind this is all still live. Right. Then you've got these two connectors you've got to pull off. Now, there's no special clip or anything. You've just got to sort of wiggle and pull. And sometimes they're a pig. This one particularly. And if you pull on the wires, there's a sort of risk of pulling the wire out. So sometimes it's better just to get a pair of pliers on here and pull on the connector body. I'll just give it a... Right. So you can see there that the two-way connector goes on these two here, and the one-way goes on here. Right. Actually, we'll need that, won't we? Right. So we are going to go today with the Super Deluxe Loom. So that has given us a USB. Now, depending how the Loom comes, you'll probably get quite a long wire on your dash cam. Now you've got just enough room to go in this little square hole here and put your ruler through, and can you see it coming out the front? So you can feed your wires backwards or forwards so that you can get your connector where you want it. You're probably gonna tape your dash cam wire on here and then pull it back through. There you go. Pull it back through, tape it on there, pull it back through here, and then you'll have the wire here. So you could then connect it to your USB socket there, plug it all in, and then, now be careful this doesn't rattle, so you might want to put a bit of tape or Velcro or something around that to stop it rattling. You'll then be able to put all that up there, he says, but you can hear it, it will rattle if you don't put something around it. And then what we can do is on the double connector, put the male into the female, like so, and then on that one there, put the male into the female, like so. They click in. Make sure we've got everything tucked up out the way. So we've got just the two connectors hanging down. You try and get some like that. Then we can reassemble this, can't we? So let's put that back together. There we go. And then it's just a question of putting that right angle one on there, and that single one on there. Okay, and then, now which way does it go, Lily? Is that right? Towards me?
Yeah.
Okay, and then that should pop back in there. That's it, done. Right, couple of things to note. So we use this data logger to record the voltage against time, and I'll put it on the screen now. And you can see that we plugged it in and came to the car. Then we turn the car on, you'll see the voltage spike up to 14 volts. And then you can see when we turn the car off, the voltage dropped to 12. And then you can see how it stayed on then for like 20 minutes, half an hour. And then you can see the voltage does die. So don't be worried if it stays on. It'll probably stay on 20 minutes to half an hour. Your dash cam will still be recording, but that won't give you any problems with battery drain and could be a little bonus feature. What else did I have to mention? The Loom, the fuse, and the data logger. Have I done it all, Lily?
Done it all.
Bossed it.
Right. It.
Good luck with that. We'll get these for sale on the website. So obviously if you do want to tap in and you don't want to buy the Loom, that's fine. I'll tell you how to do it. So the positive comes off the single connector. You can see that's where you get the 12 volt. And then the negative comes off, you can see which pin that comes off of there. Well, that's the negative. They're the two wires we're using. So if you just want to tap into your Loom and tape it up, that's fine with me. Have a go at doing that, and that might save you some money. But obviously I'd rather you buy our Looms, but whatever. Right, good luck with that.